Good morning. Hello, friends.
Hi, welcome. James and Cara, Kerouac's Cruising.
And we are taking you on our sunset walk with the puppies.
This is after Thanksgiving. Well, we went camping for our Thanksgiving holiday with a couple friends, and I had a great experience. It was a lot of fun. We're going to talk about it. So we're at home. We're around the Grand Canyon, and people that visit here have to pretty much come in through Williams, Arizona. Off the 40, and that's a cute little town. It's right on the 66. It just about went extinct, really.
Yeah.
And because the 66 goes through there and they put the 40 in. Anyways, we camped between Williams, Arizona and Jerome, Arizona. And if you've never been to Jerome, it's an old mining town built literally on the mountainside.
It's a cool town. So we came into Jerome from the Williams side, which is the backroads coming in through the National Forest. But if you visit Sedona, it's actually fairly close to Sedona. And when you approach it from the Sedona side, so that's like the main highway, it's literally a town built up the face of a mountain. So you're starting at the bottom and you look up at this mountain town, and it is a really, really cool town to visit. If you're coming into Arizona, or if you live in Arizona and you haven't been to Jerome, you need to put this town on your bucket list. You need to visit. It is the cutest little town. It's one of my favorite spots to visit.
And if you're superstitious or anything like that, there's a lot of old history there, and the hotel is haunted, like it's been in every haunted.
A few of them, yeah. There's a few, I guess, haunted buildings, hotels, restaurants, the whole nine yards. So it's kind of an interesting history, and don't shoot me if I get the story wrong, but what I remember, what I understand, is that Jerome was a copper mining town through the late 1800s and early 1900s. Mining's dangerous work. Not only is it physically dangerous with, you know, rock slides and things of that nature, caves collapsing, but it's dangerous, you know, for your lungs and your body. And so most of this town back in those mining days was pretty much all of the men worked in the mine. So there was a lot of dismembered men or really sickly men in the town. So they actually had created a law in Jerome back in those days because they wanted more people who weren't miners to move there. They were trying to grow the city. So what they actually did was create a law that if you looked sick or were sickly or were dismembered, you were not allowed to leave your house during daylight hours. So it's a really interesting culture left over from this time. And then, of course, all the hauntings. I don't even know half the stories on the hauntings. And it's a really neat, eclectic town as far as artsy people and artsy restaurants and artsy art.
Yeah, they have lots of little window shops.
Yeah.
And it's a walking town.
Yes.
They have big stairs that go up because it's built on the mountainside, and there's different levels, a lot of one-way streets that are really small. So you don't even feel like you're really in the United States, really.
Yeah, it's neat. It's a really neat town. Like James says, it doesn't look like something out of Arizona. But then the views from the top, looking out into the valley, you're essentially looking into the backside of Sedona. And, I mean, the rocks are just gorgeous. Just so beautiful.
Go on the blog because we have some good pictures of the surrounding area and where we camp.
Yes.
And even from our campsite, we could see the whole Verde Valley, Sedona.
Beautiful.
It is red rocks and cliff sides and rolling hills, basically. It's just unbelievable.
It is really beautiful.
So in Jerome also, they have great restaurants, great shopping if you like to shop. But they have like the old jail still there, just weird stuff like that. But they have a ghost town, and you can go visit the ghost town, and you walk around and you see like a dentist office in the 1900s, you know, it's so crazy. So really fun to walk around the ghost town. You can do panning for gold.
Yeah, panning for gold.
Panning for gold. And they have it's really good for kids because they have a petting zoo and stuff like that.
That's all in the ghost town, which
That's
is
all in the ghost town.
North of Jerome, like a mile or two of the actual heart of Jerome that's populated by humans today.
And how we got to our campsite is we left from Williams on Perkinsville Road or 4th Street downtown. And we drove out there, and it is a beautiful ride. If you're in Williams and you're going to go to Sedona, I highly suggest you go down 4th Street, Perkinsville Road to Jerome, and then over to Sedona and come up into Flagstaff and make a big circle.
Yeah.
So,
if you've got... Hey friends, I am taking a moment to interrupt your regularly scheduled program to ask you to do us a huge favor. So if you could take a moment, just stop whatever you're doing and give us a thumbs up, a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever the platform is that you are listening or watching us on. You could do us a favor and give us some kudos on that platform. That tells the algorithm that we're pretty cool, and other people who like the same sort of stuff that you do, it's going to show our information to those people. So that's a huge way to help support us. So immense gratitude. If you could please do that. Many, many thank yous. We love you so much. If you want to support us more directly, you can go to coffee.com. So that's going to be ko.fi.com/CaraWax And you can give us a tip. If you like what you're hearing here, if we're giving you some great information, if you find it useful and entertaining or whatever it is for you that it's adding value to your life, you want to give us a little tip, we would absolutely love that. All of that money obviously goes to funding our future adventures. If you'd rather have something tangible for that money, you can go to our on-demand shop. I'll have the links in the show description, show notes, where you can purchase a little something, one of these super cool t-shirts, sweatshirts, whatever it is, water bottles. We've got all kinds of cool jazz there. If there's something that you are interested in seeing that we don't have in that store, throw it at me. I'm happy to kind of accommodate what's going to float your boat. If you think it's going to be cool and fun, other people probably like it too. Otherwise, we love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support and your listenings, your watching, your following, your engagement. We love you so much. You guys make this worth doing. So thank you so much. Love you. Bye. You've got... Sometimes the road can be really rough, so that's like vehicle dependent.
That's true. Good point.
When we went, the road was in really great condition, and I would have taken, an economy car down there, no problem. There were some spots where you just got to be careful where you put your tires, but really nothing too bad. But sometimes after monsoon season or after the winter, so in the springtime, that road will be really roughed up before they come through and grade it again. So,
and it gets snow in the Williams part of it, and sometimes all the way to Jerome. So in the winter months, it's difficult. We were there for Thanksgiving weekend. Nobody out there. There was some hunters. That's it. We had a great time. One of the other things we did when we were out there camping, and we didn't find it, the friends that we had went with, he had found it on his map, another ghost town. You didn't have to pay. The one in Jerome, you got to pay to go look. This one here was just in the middle of nowhere on the railroad tracks. So we definitely went and checked it out. And we thought we were going to be able to drive right there because it told you could drive right there. But lo and behold, we got there and there's a gate, said no trespassing. But then we found another way in, and it was really only no trespassing for like a little bit of the walk.
Private property.
Private property. If we would have continued, but we opted to leave and we went the other route. And then we came down and we could see where we were, where the no trespassing sign is. So,
but you couldn't drive all the way there, so it was a pretty gnarly hike for a little bit of it. Definitely a big incline. Loose rocks, loose gravel, so you want to be careful of your footing. If you go, check out the blog for the location. It's Perkinsville Ghost Town. Coming up, it was, again, a steep incline, so it was slow going getting up, but it wasn't far. It was less than a mile.
It's 0.8 of a mile, so 1.6 miles or whatever it is.
Round trip,
Round trip. Going down's no big deal except for the loose rocks. But coming back up, you know, it was slower. And it was real steep coming up.
I mean, James ran to the top, but me and our buddy, we just took our time one step at a time.
One step at a time. So down there, you could check it out. A lot of buildings, but right on the railroad tracks. So I'm sure most of the jobs were loading the train or taking care of people when they got off. It looked like they had a little hostel, like a hotel or whatever.
So I Googled it. I actually Googled Perkinsville.
She's got the info.
I got the info. I like the stories and the history. So it was a town, Perkinsville. And at one point there was like 10 families that lived there. I'm sure they were all related to the Perkins family. But it was a train depot and a hostel, basically. That's right off the train tracks. And this was a little like branch line or little mini railway line that helped with the copper mining in Clarksdale, actually, in Jerome. So they needed lime, and this area had lime. So they were mining lime out of Perkinsville and then shipping it over to Clarksdale. So this was a route between the two. It's changed hands over the year, but actually now today it's owned by the, the Verde Canyon Railway. And that's a really cool, you'll go to the blog for links on the Verde Canyon Railway. They do really cool, not only is this area beautiful and you get to ride the train through, which is scenic and awesome, but they do wine trains trains, so you're doing wine tasting. And if you don't know, this area of Arizona has a lot of wineries. There is very unique soil in this area and a lot of aquifers in this area. So wine is grown here. Grapes
wine
to make
isn't
wine.
really grown here.
I caught that he was going to do that. So the grapes to grow the wine or to make the wine are grown here. So you do a
lot of vineyards, really.
Yes.
It's awesome to see them.
So they do a wine tasting train tour through the Verde Canyon, or you can do a starlight one where you do it overnight and you get to enjoy the dark skies we have here. And this is a really remote area, so the skies, there's no light pollution. The skies would be phenomenal. So if you're...
I think the Grand Canyon is like top 5.
Yeah, so Coconino County in general is an international dark sky community.
Yeah, this is the darkest it gets, man. You see spaceships flying in the sky here.
Yeah, you
Seriously,
do.
weird stuff.
It's
we just wave and smile.
So they do just a scenic train ride too, but those are some extra special things that you can enjoy on that. So that's a fun thing to do if you're in the Sedona area. Where we camped is actually a really neat jumping point to get off to all these different spots. So we're kind of centrally located to Sedona, Williams, of course, which would take you to the Grand Canyon. But if you were to go west...
Don't forget Jerome.
Jerome, of course. And if you were to go west, that would take you to Prescott. So we were like centrally located at all these different bouncing points. So if you wanted to camp, you can camp in the National Forest for 14 days in Arizona. So you could camp here for 14 days and spend 14 days exploring all of these different areas through their back roads, which is really, really cool. Looking at the
network. You see the wildlife, you see scenery like you just don't see anymore. And where we camped, the scenery was unbelievable, and the night sky was incredible.
Our sunrises, man, I wish I'd have gotten out of bed the first morning for sunrise. The sunrise was incredible.
I got out of bed, made a fire,
he didn't take
and
no
I
pictures,
had
though.
coffee.
He didn't take no pictures, though. Oh, he was great. He, every morning, got out of bed, got a big roaring fire going, and started coffee so that he could get me out of bed. But it's absolutely beautiful area. Absolutely.
Perkinsville Road, you're not bringing a huge camper. And you can. It's just you got to investigate it first.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the campsites, there's a plentiful of camping, but they're small sites.
Yeah.
We slept in our truck.
Territory.
Really, because you're on the side of a mountain, basically.
Yeah. It's rolling hills and mountains, and you're on the side of mountains and cliffs. So we had found after we'd been there, we found some better spots that we're noting for future.
There's definitely some flat spots,
and we'll go ahead and pin them
there you
so
go.
that you can find them.
The one spot that
where
you pinned.
we stayed.
Okay, go ahead.
Where we stayed, we were looking at things on the map. We were meeting friends there. And so we kind of wanted to plan everything out in advance in the event that there's no cell service, and there is, by the way. At least we had it with AT&T and what they have.
They have Verizon.
Okay, so
but
that's
it
good.
Wasn't the whole road. It's only about where we camped and where she pins it.
That's true.
Because that road is wishy-washy the whole way,
in and out of
the valleys. Because it's down and up, down and up. You know, you start at 7,000 feet in elevation, you're dropping to 4,900 feet in elevation. So,
and there's no
great
towns.
ride.
There are no towns. Like
no
we
towns,
drove
no nothing,
hour
just
and
wilderness.
a half. You're just in the desert forest.
And it's only 30-something miles, so no big deal.
Yeah, it's not far. Yeah. But anyway, what we did is just look on the Google Maps satellites, and I used Gaia GPS to make sure we were talking about public lands. But we just found a clearing that looked like it was going to be accessible, and then we all agreed that was going to be the spot we were going to go to, so that if we didn't have cell phone service, we could all find each other.
It worked out.
Yeah, it worked out perfect. But when we get there, it's like there's like a bowl on one side. There's a tank or a watering hole for cows.
Put it this way, they wouldn't let their dogs go because they thought they might fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
But they ended up. Our dogs got along, so it was cool. She brought up the cows, so we show up to camp. And there is cows
at the watering hole.
At the watering hole in this fenced-in area where our friends really have their
tent set up right next to it. It's on the beach of this watering hole.
Yeah, it was funny. And they didn't want to
do anything. They didn't want to get out of their tent. They were so nervous about these cows.
They didn't want to scare them away.
They were waiting for us to get there. They had gotten there the day before. We're all set up and everything. They did not come out since these cows arrived.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, they were waiting. And
I didn't know that.
They wouldn't do anything. So James has to go over, and his family raised wildlife, or not wildlife.
We had
livestock.
Daisy the cow.
Yeah, they raised livestock when he was a kid, so he's played around with cows and whatever. And so
I'm telling you, cows gotten a lot bigger nowadays. I was a little scared.
He's out there like shooing them and making all kinds of noise and acting all silly and funny.
They wouldn't move. They were being so stubborn.
To get these
I just
cows
about had
off.
to whack them on the back of their butts with a stick to get them to run.
And then they did.
They did run and they never came back.
Yeah. So it was good. That was pretty funny. I forgot about that.
We seen them the next day when we left camp and we were heading to Jerome on a watering hole. They were right on the side, the same one, because one of them had a really unique face. He was black, and then the white on his face was really unique.
Yeah, unique pattern. Yep.
So
that was fun. That was silly. But we had a good time. This is a really good spot if you, again, want to camp for a long period of time, and hit all of these different spots. Again, Sedona's really close. Camp Verde, Cottonwood, Jerome, Clarksdale, Dewey, Prescott, Williams, Grand Canyon, Flagstaff. There's a lot of areas that you can, for the most part, get to on back roads. So if that's fun for you, maybe you got a toy hauler, you're going to bring your ATV with you, do it. This is a perfect place to explore, to play,
a lot of
fun.
side-by-sides and a lot of off-road trails. And it's a great spot.
Yep. And there's like endless places to camp away from people. So it's a really fun spot to be able to bring the dogs to free range.
We were very happy to spend Thanksgiving out there. Our friends were a joy.
Yep.
And we got to explore nature.
Yeah, it was a great time.
And it is nature out there.
Yep.
So go out there. It's in between Williams and Jerome. It's Perkinsville Road. And the holidays are here.
If you guys have any questions, comments, you want to join the conversation, feel free to do so. Social media, you can email us, join@caroxcruising.com.
Always ask questions. And if you're coming to the Grand Canyon area, we are experts. And we just recently visited Tucson, Arizona, where we both lived. Well, she lived longer than me, but lived for at least 5+ years. And we're going to bring you a lot of stuff on Tucson, some future episodes.
All likely while we're on our way back up to Idaho for Christmas.
Going to see the baby for Christmas.
Baby.
I miss the baby, and they don't even send any pictures. Send some pictures if you listen to this. I'm not asking again. All right,
you guys, thank you for listening. Love you.
Bye.